Why can't the church put members in groups, just the way we do house fellowships? Share acres for members, 10-10. Why is the money being sent to headquarters? A woman is in labor and baby is not forthcoming. You see a religious leader is telling the person, don't allow them to slice you. You are a Hebrew woman. What is the business with an Enugu person and being Hebrew? If you try to agree and understand these things, you will discover that whatever we have today is just a modernization of what has been. We should concentrate more of our energy on surviving here, now. How will French survive you here? How many persons can get jobs by studying French now as it stands in Nigeria? What are the options for work? And I bet you right now there are about 10,000 students studying French across the country.
It's about to go down.
I feel the family structure would have been the easiest way to make the world a better place, but it is under attack, because most times people break out of marriage for the least things. People break out of marriage for the barest minimum, and people see this whole marriage thing as, bed of roses. Probably maybe you watched a movie and you saw a story of somebody and you just feel that, okay, this is how it's supposed to be for me. Your reality and that person's reality is not probably the same, and when it is not going the way you expect it to go, you just probably want to break it. I know that marriage is not a do or die thing. Most times people have expectations, especially your gender.
I think it's a two-way thing.
I think no, but when it comes to the expectation part, your gender has it more, because your gender is more of the emotional type, the fairy tale, this whole, I want to use the word illusion. There's a way they see the whole thing. It's like supposed to be this happy ever after stuff, but I don't see it that way. I feel it's like just like the everyday life where you struggle to solve puzzles and make things happen for yourself. That is the same approach we give to everything that has to do with life, including marriage. It will come with its ups and downs. It will come with all sorts of temptations here and there. But sometimes you understand that on the long run, the major reason why you are on this journey is because of family. It's because of legacy. It's because of what. If you want to remove yourself from the picture and ask yourself, what about me? What is my happiness? What about my this? Then you don't really understand the role that the family unit plays in the whole of the scheme of things. Like family, just like a business, for example. I come together with you as a partner. I say, let's do this business. You have this, you bring this, I bring this, and you are guaranteed your 30% stake in that business. I don't think you just want to crash that business at every little misunderstanding with your partner, because you have an idea that I have a 30% stake. As far as this business keeps standing, my 30% stake is sure. My other partner has 30%. One of our sponsors have the other 30%, and 10% is just there. You understand? You wouldn't just want to everything should scatter. Because why you have this? So I want people to also see this whole marriage thing from this point of view. You are building an empire. It might not be so clear at the 4th year or the 5th year, but when two human beings decide want to work together, want to do this is the common goal. It's not about us. There are several times I've had situations where my kid is sick. I'm running letter-scatter. I see myself running letter-scatter trying to solve that problem. When I actually sit down to reminisce and slow down and understand, why am I doing this? I understand that it's just love for family. It's no longer about me. Because most of those moves are not even conducive for me. You just go to the hospital and they tell you that your child needs 3 million naira. Ordinarily, it is none of your business. But family is the underlining factor there, or the connecting rod that will make you not to be able to abandon that child. You see yourself running up and down trying to raise that money. At that point, it is the family love, not personal love. Not am I loved here or do I love this person. Sometimes it's just about that family. So I feel that at some point when a couple gets married, they should understand the role of challenges, the role of misunderstanding, then the bigger picture, which is
So
family
can I
structure.
cut in? Can I cut in for a
Yeah.
bit? Right. So whilst I understand the importance of family as a structure and how it benefits society directly or indirectly, I do not completely agree
Okay.
with the opinion that it is no longer about oneself. So there's something I learned at a very young age, and it is that when you are raising kids, you cannot raise kids on 80%. You can't raise kids on 95%. If you want to raise kids who would grow up to be proper members of the society, as that is the bigger picture, you have to be able to give your children 100%, both partners, right? That's the husband and the wife. So in some cases, because I want to say that there are exceptions to all of these things that you're saying. So in some cases, when a person is no longer happy in a situation, we like to deny it in this part of the world and say it does not matter, but in real life it does. I've seen kids, well, they're adults now anyway, but they grew up as kids who were in homes where daddy and mommy were not happy. Daddy and mommy were always fighting. Daddy and mommy did not separate. There was no divorce. These
Yeah.
people still, aside from their differences, they still said, okay, no, we want to raise this child together. Some of them because of what would people say? Some because family is family. We can't raise these children apart from each other. But these children grow up to be traumatized and damaged. These parents do not know this. They don't know this. They think that they're doing the best thing by being together. But sometimes it is not always the best. So whilst I'm saying that family is important, I am also of the opinion that sometimes it's best if two people try to make things work from a distance. And that is the concept of divorce. So, for example, a woman who is being financially abused in marriage, for example, she, obviously, maybe she, stopped her work to care for the kids. And now it's time to try to get stuff for the house, and the man cannot exactly. Not he cannot provide. He does not want to provide. Cannot is more of a circumstance thing, and then there is the will not. I'm not going to give it to you because I don't want to give it to you. The woman might find herself, as you know, women stay home with kids more typically. Yeah. Of course, there are obviously exceptions, but most times women are the ones who stay home with the children. The anger and the frustration, she wouldn't know when she starts to talk to the child a certain kind of way. So what I'm trying to say is, whilst family is important, a person's mental health is also very important to raise optimal kids. Yeah. So if daddy isn't okay with mommy, daddy thinks that he's done and he cannot be with mommy to raise his kids optimally, I don't think there should be an issue with separation. As far as the couple knows that their responsibility now, even if it's ending with themselves, the responsibility towards a child should not end. So they're not married, they want to go to meet people, or I don't care, but that's the child and they're going to take care of the child together. So that's like my perspective about the whole thing.
It's a beautiful perspective, and I share some of your perspective with you because first and foremost, not being successful with marriage does not make one a failure. But what my point is that we should put in more effort. It's just like deciding to give up on life because it's difficult. Then we should be having suicidal rates almost every day. And the process of life being difficult and the process of coexisting with somebody also being difficult, the difference is not that much. It's also difficult. It's just like you're struggling to find your path or find your way. It's traumatizing, and it's also painful when you expected somebody to be a whole lot better. This whole marriage of a thing, people have expectations of it. It should have been like this. Just like me too. Sometimes I jokingly tell my friends that I don't know, so you go be so like this now, total strangers now my responsibility. I go they run up and down. If I never chop, if I never chop, even if I never chop, they must chop. You get to see this whole a picture playing in your head. You get, so it is the same thing. You just need to understand that on the long run, You just want to do the best you can do to make things work. You understand? But the part I don't want to support totally is when it doesn't work out. Then these whole traumas are being passed on to the children. The concept of family can be achieved in different ways. It can be achieved with a loving home, father, mother available. It can also be achieved with father not available, father and mother not together, but father, mother very available and understanding.
Right.
There's a story going around now where a footballer was who has been bearing a father's name, as all of a sudden came out and like, I don't want to be addressed as my mother's surname. I feel to an extent, if we have to be realistic and tell ourselves the truth, it's manipulation, and it's an after effect of what transpired between the man and the woman that is being translated to the kid. Because in actual sense, nothing will make a child, no matter what happens between him and the father, to deny using his father's name or to stop using his father's name and choose to be known by his mother's father's name. So all of these things are effects that come out from when there's a fallout between the father and the mother, then it starts translating to the kids. Okay, so if we know that on the long run, the purpose is to raise good children, you understand? Probably in the African sense, retirement plan to make our old age easier, and we grow up and we'll be like, ah man, I made this successful young man and all of that. If we are looking at it from that angle, that this is the gain on the long run, then we should always know how to put ourselves aside and focus on the goal. Just like I want to be a top entertainer in the world, and right now I might not be seeing that whole picture right now. I would always not look at myself in my rawest form. I should always be focused on what I have told myself that I want to achieve by venturing on this path. So when you look at it, aside the love that binds people together, a couple, people dating, the bigger reason for a man and a woman coexisting is children. The biggest reason, the major reason why God created man and woman is to raise family, to raise children, to continue the concept of reproduction, the concept of procreation. That is just one of the major reasons why we go. So if the love part of it, which is for some people, they will say love is a whole illusion on its own, that is something that is not guaranteed. If that part does not work, then you focus on raising these children to the best of your ability, sometimes removing all misunderstanding, removing all grudges and all of that. So I feel if we go back to the African template of what marriage is all about, there's a whole lot we can say, monogamy, polygamy, the difference, how it has impacted us, what it has done for us, what is the success of monogamy, what is the success of polygamy in the African sense. When you look at all of these things, you notice that sometimes we should always just learn to trace it back a bit and do things our own way, because we were really influenced by the Western culture so much. You get so it can always get better on the long run if we understand ourselves and do things according to our own template.
Okay. Matter of monogamy, polygamy. We're going to be on clashing
Story
sides
for
on this
another
one.
day. I was saying it. We have to do
Another day, please.
I know you will never agree. I know you never agree. But the truth of the matter is that we have seen the after results of all of the polygamy in the world. You understand? And we have seen the after effect of all the monogamy in the world. And if we have to use result to compare, I will tell you for a fact that monogamy has not been successful. Yes.
I think it's more or less the same thing. It is the same failure rate as far as I'm concerned.
It's not been successful. But if you look at the successes of polygamy, in the African sense, not in the last 100 years, not in the last 100 years. I'm talking about before
So how
that
how do
time.
we how do we know what happened before that
We're students of history now.
time?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're students of
Okay.
history. That's why history is very important. You need to
Okay.
sit down and understand all these things. But it has been proven over time that the Western world didn't really benefit much from monogamy, and the template of monogamy we are enjoying right now, it's the one we copied from them. They didn't enjoy much from it. The biggest money that has been made from fraud in the last 20 years, thereabout, from relationship scams, has been the after effect of broken homes. Ladies became lonely and they had to come online to search for love. And when they
Okay.
search for love, they fall in the hands of scammers. And a whole lot of young guys made a whole lot of money, a whole lot of fortune from that scam in the last 20 years. And I see a pandemic of such repeating itself in Nigeria because of the amount of single women, divorced women that are living homes. Because at some point, a woman will always be lonely. You understand? And a man is a man. But story for another day.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are here, and I've been having a good time with Ivy.
The next
Though,
conversation.
although we have not been agreeing on a whole lot of things, but on the next conversation,
Mm-hmm.
we will come to a compromise.
On the next conversation.
The
On
next,
the next
the next. This
conversation.
is the next conversation, but we're having the next conversation.
Right, right, right. It was a pleasure sitting here and talking to you about so many things. As you said, we're going to be having a proper conversation the
Yeah,
next time.
yeah.
We'll be on the next conversation.
Yeah.
So,
There's a whole lot of things to say.
right.
There's a whole lot of things to talk about. There's a whole lot of things to share our point of view on. One thing you should understand is that you must not agree with my point of view.
Mm-hmm.
I mustn't agree with your point of view. But one thing I just feel as a human is that when you get to a particular point in life, you should have your own ideologies and your own philosophies, and you stick to it
Right.
because it works for you. If it works for you, you stick to it. But in all, we need to be able to weigh everything properly. Don't look at life from your perspective alone and just make your point of view. It's myopic. You need to be able to look at things from all broader perspective, this way, left, right, center, up, down,
Mm-hmm.
all round before probably coming to a conclusion. So on this show, we don't expect you to totally agree with everything that we say because we are all humans and we have different perspectives. But
Yeah.
we expect you to also respect some of the perspectives that we give here as they are our personal perspective.
So, as we've been saying, it's been an amazing conversation. Trust me, I am sure that if you are here right now, that means you watched it till the end. You've learned so many things, and we do not want this learning to end there. Whether it is argumentative, whether it is expository, we want you to learn regardless. And the next conversation continues next time. So, if you're watching this right now, please make sure to follow, subscribe, comment, and share on all our social media pages. The name is The Next Conversation. I remain your delectable co host, Ivy, with the one and only
Comedy in action.
O'Shea. It's a pleasure.
See you some other time.
Mm-hmm.
It's about to go down.